Well, good evening, everybody. It's wonderful to be back and to be entering the 6th week of this fast track. I just cannot believe how quickly this is going by. I mean, I know that I've been doing a lot of work from different places around really the world over the first couple of weeks, but it's just going so fast. And there's so many things that I want to talk to you guys about tonight, things that I'm really excited about. My travel is going to be very limited over the next 7 weeks, and I'm really excited about that because I'm going to use the opportunity to really ramp up my own personal web center business as well. Because, the fast track, that's a great opportunity to do that. That's why we're all doing it, right? So, welcome. I'm so excited. I want to thank my fast track coaches because you guys have been just incredible, and I know that everybody on the call agrees with me. That every time we hear from a new fast track coach from a week to week basis, we just learn something new, and there's nothing like team, you guys. I say this all the time. I wrote a blog about it recently, but I just feel like when you do things alone, you're always going to be small. You're always going to be as small as your own unique set of skills. It doesn't matter how special or how talented or how smart you are. When you're alone, that's as big as you get. And with a team, you're just, limitless, and things are better, and perspective and vision is bigger. And I am so grateful for the team that I have in my fast track coaches and also with everybody on the fast track. There's a number of very excellent contributors that I see, posting ideas and posting things that are working for them in our Facebook group. And I just think that's really incredible. I mean, it's so great to scroll down on our Facebook group and see something from Sean Patrick McKay where he writes something about, hey everybody, did you know your web center can import contacts so that you can, from there, so you can do email marketing or for LinkedIn or whatever his idea is. It's just, these are really great things. And what's also great is knowing that I can be literally halfway around the world in London and say, hey, Matt Giebel, would you mind, pinch hitting tonight and running the call along with Russell Polo? And I don't feel like that's any less valuable than if I did it myself. And I just have to take a second, and I know that I'm talking about this kind of long, but I just want to take a second because that is incredible. That just, for that to exist where there really isn't a loss if I'm there or not, that is just so incredibly valuable. And so I'm very grateful for them. And I hope that everybody else is too. And if you get a chance to say thank you, please do that, because the work that they do and the time that they give without being compensated, it's just incredible. So thank you guys, and I'm so excited about entering this 6th week. Um, we're doing excellently, and I'm going to share some results. So here's what's up for tonight. Just as a reminder, we are recording tonight. The presentation will be uploaded to MAWC411.com. There was a recording that was sent to me from Matt, but I just got home last night, so I will be going ahead and uploading that recording from last Sunday and also this Sunday's recording tomorrow on Columbus Day. So I will take care of that. I think Matt's recording did work out properly, and so I will be working on that. Like I said, as long as the recordings work out, I'm happy to upload them. We did have some technical difficulties a few weeks ago where we didn't get the recording up, and just things happen, so it's all good. Right now, we're actually, just so you know, running on a beta version of GoToWebinar. And the reason that we're running on that beta version is because it's the highest upgrade that we could get that would allow us to do multiple screen shares. So if you joined us on that call workshop webinar that we did on the first Tuesday in October, you'd know how cool that was. You were able to see myself and Connie and Russell and Jay and all of the fast track coaches that participated in that. And it really made the call workshop feel like we were all in the same room together. So we did go ahead and upgrade our GoToMeeting, but as a result, it is the beta version, so things happen. We do the best that we can, and that's all that anybody can ask. And excuse me, it wouldn't be a fast track if there weren't technical difficulties. Actually, it's really funny, you guys, but the first webinar of every single fast track that I've ever conducted has had technical difficulties, and yet they're still incredibly successful. So, just don't get stuck on those dots. All right, so here's what's up for tonight. I'm going to share some results with you. I'm going to talk to you about some ideas, and I'm going to challenge you to find some new website leads, because what I'm finding is that people are exhausting their warms names list, and just looking for different strategies to meet new people and to get more website prospects. So that is going to be the focus of my contribution for tonight's call. From there, we're going to hear from our Fast Track Coach of the Week, which is Connie Schneider. I'm just such a fan of Connie's. I always have been from the second that I met her. You guys are going to love her as well. She's a mother, a very, very busy mother, and very successful and franchise owner as well. So I'm very excited about what she has to share with you, because I think, given the amount of comments, emails, and messages that I see from people that have scheduling challenges, I think that when you hear from Connie and how she makes this work for her, I think that you're going to find some new ideas for how to go about your day. From there, I want to share with you the upcoming Web Center trainings 101 and 201 over the next 2 months. And I want to talk to you a little bit about why you need to be attending these. And there's some very, very key, just incredible differences in the new trainings from the old trainings. And there's some insane reviews that we're getting from J.R. Reidinger, Jackie Blasco. It's just insane. Like, the things that we're hearing are, especially the 201 is like a basic 5 on crack. It's just amazing. But I'll share a little bit about those trainings with you when we get there. But I did want to take some time, because we talk at the end of every webinar and we say you should attend an upcoming Web Center training. And I know that everybody knows that they're different because they're now separated into 2 days, but I don't know that everybody understands the key differences between them. So it will take 2 minutes to go over that at the end. All right, so let's look at our results. You can see here that in week 4, we had some incredible results. We had 10, let me go back. We had 10 website sales that sold at $16,000 and generated almost 11 grand in website retail profit. That's excellent. There was over $17,000 in other Market America branded products that were sold, 10 personally sponsored and 13 additionally sponsored people. So this is really, really great. These are very great average results. So when I look at these results compared to week 4 and other fast track results, they're right on par with where we should be. But what I'm looking for is better than that, right? We don't only want to achieve what's possible. We want to think about how can we push ourselves to now set the bar just a little bit higher and stretch, right? So, I want you to ask yourself, if you're not the one that's, enjoying the success of personally sponsored distributors or website sales or product sales or whatever, why or why not? Could you be doing more than what you're doing? And so it's fine. That's the fourth week results. But what I want you to understand is that this is absolutely 100% a process, right? So if you decide this week, and actually it's week 5, excuse me, if you decide in week 5 that you're going to give it all you have, you need to do that for weeks 5, 6, and 7, so that by week 8, you can start seeing your sales and your personally sponsored really coming through, right? The Web Center program builds exactly how your unfranchised builds, where you're going to get an appointment, you're going to edify a team, you're going to schedule the appointment, conduct the appointment. There will be some follow-up, some more questions and reevaluation until the person is ready to buy the website. That's how it works. It's a process. So what you need to understand is that what you do in week 5 is going to be a direct reflection of what you see as results in week 8. And so the results that you're seeing in week 4 right now for yourself personally are really a direct reflection of the work you've done over the past 3 weeks, not just what you did in week 4. I hope that makes sense to you guys. And I think it's important to understand how this works, because like, let's say you're like me, or you're like most people on this fast track, that the first week or the first even 2 weeks, you kind of had a slow start. And that's okay. That's normal. I had the same thing. I had every intention in the world on having a huge start and just totally knocking it out of the park. But to be completely humbled and honest in front of all of you, the first week, I barely hit half of what I wanted to hit as far as contacts and activity. And there's no excuse other than I didn't do a good job scheduling, so I didn't get the time done. So that's why I've been making adjustments. That's why in week 5, I've got serious commitments in my schedule to put more activity in, because if I don't schedule it, I'm so busy that I know it's not going to get done. And I also have that realistic expectation that whatever I do in week 5 is not going to see a direct result by Friday necessarily because of the nature of how our business works. Because if we're honest about it, when you're selling a website solution, when you're selling an appointment and you're booking that appointment and the business owner meets with the product specialist, there's trust to be built there. There's loyalty. It really does come down to trust and whether or not that relationship is strong enough for them to decide to go with us, right? We're not selling lipsticks. We're not selling things. And there's nothing wrong with selling lipstick. I actually buy a ton of lipstick from ourselves. But I'm just saying that there's more to be made in a decision on buying a website solution for somebody's personal business than there is to be made for selling a lipstick, right? That's why the profit, and that's why the benefit that you receive is so much greater. You have to understand, and this is a big reason why I don't believe in cold calling, by the way, you guys, is because when you're selling a website solution and you're trying to get a business owner to choose you and to trust you and to go with your product and to schedule an appointment with your guys, it's their business. 9 times out of 10, the people that own these businesses have given their entire life to build it, right? They've given everything they have so that they can build this one thing that's theirs. And they're not going to turn over the marketing and the advertising and really what determines the kind of results they're going to get in their own business over to somebody that they don't trust. So we have to acknowledge the process. I want everybody to give everything that they have in week 5. And I want you to do it again in week 6 and week 7 so that by week 8 and week 9, you're like, wow, we're not getting just 10 to 15 website sales in a week. We're getting more like 20 to 30. And I think, and actually I know that we can achieve those kinds of results. We just have to be smart and we have to own the situation. We have to know what the situation is so that we can have an incredible offensive plan. So let's talk about some ideas that I have for you guys. So I'm going to give you a challenge after Connie's done speaking tonight. But before I do that, what I want to give you are some ideas for how you can increase some website leads, right? And some of these are outside of the box. Some of these are a little bit different than how we typically teach you to find website leads. They all fall into the names list somewhere. But what I'm sharing with you is things that I do on a regular basis and that I know a lot of people that sell a ton of websites do on a regular basis. So the first one I want to let everybody know is it's contractor season. I know this may be a little bit different for those of you guys that are in the South, but in the North and the West and anywhere where the seasons really change, contractors are getting off of the biggest part of their entire season, right? They're getting off of the part where they've just made the crux of their money. And this is exactly when they're making their advertising decisions for the upcoming season. It's when they have the most cash flow, and that's why they make their big decisions now. Another thing is, you're going to see like people going around cleaning out gutters, leaf cleanup, tree people. There's going to be roofers. Everybody's getting ready for the winter right now. And so I want you to be very hyper aware of the possibilities that are everywhere around you. So as you're driving around your town or your work or wherever you are, I want you to just literally either have a notebook and a pen in your car, or even better yet, just use the recording app on your iPhone or your Android, right? And I want you to record the people that are advertising their business either on the van or on a truck, or if you pass a sign, or just those signs that people put up in their yards, and just write it down because it's so amazing to me that all of these places it'll be like XYZ landscaping company and you see just a phone number and you're like, do you really think that people are going to remember your phone number when they're just driving by your sign or driving by your van? They're not going to. So if they don't have a website listed on their van, truck, or sign, it's really going to come down to 2 reasons why they don't. Number 1 is they don't have one and there's clearly a need for that. Or number 2 is they do have one and they're not proud of it. So that's an incredible opportunity. I want you to be aware of that. Another one I want you to think of, and I just think restaurants are a given. I don't think there's a single person on the line tonight that hasn't gone out to a restaurant in the past 4 to 8 weeks. So go ahead and literally just pick up the phone book or Google and look up every single restaurant in your town. Okay, I want you to write them down and I want you to check them out. And when I say check them out, I mean just Google them, right? Figure out, do they have a website? What kind of food do they serve? Do they have any ratings online? A lot of these companies these restaurants, they have like a Yelp listing, or they have some other listing where they can be rated online, and they have very limited information available online, but they don't have their own website. And then check them out. Walk into their restaurant instead of going out to that same old restaurant that you go out to for lunch every day. Try a new one. There are so many restaurants inside a given town, and opportunities for you to meet new business owners, or to pick up the phone and just ask them something simple like, "Hey, do you guys deliver?" Great. All right, whatever the answer is, or hey, I just found your restaurant. I'm just wondering where your menu is available. Do you have a website? Use some questions to start to build rapport. The important thing is that when you're picking up the phone and you're calling up a restaurant and you're trying to get them, you're really just data mining at this point. You're not cold calling. You're not trying to get them on an appointment right away. You're just asking some basic questions to get to know them. Do you have a website? I was trying to share your menu with a friend. I can't find it online. Those kinds of questions. Usually, if you position the question in a way where you're asking for a way to give them business, that's an excellent, reason for them not to, for them to consider why or why not they even don't have a website. We didn't have a website because we had something on restaurant.com, but we don't have that anymore. Whatever the response is, write it down. Okay, when you pick up the phone and you're asking these questions to the restaurants, I want you to write every single thing that you have down. Because when you go to that restaurant later and you check them out, or if you pick up the phone again 2 days from now and you follow up with them, having those notes and having that information is going to be very, very key in you getting to the next step. Another thing is, pick an industry that you feel comfortable talking about, right? So, a lot of you guys have had jobs and you have work experience or business experience in a specific industry. So, for me, it was catering and restaurants. I was literally running weddings, maitre ding weddings. By the age of 17, because family owned this huge catering company, and I just knew the business inside and out. So when I first started selling websites, I made it a point to introduce myself and to get to know different caterers and people that did offsite and onsite catering. And it was because I felt like I could hold an intelligent conversation with these business owners. And I'm just recommending this because if you feel comfortable talking about their business, then you're going to feel comfortable talking about their website, because it's not the website you're really talking about, right? It's never the website you're talking about. You're actually not talking about much at all. You're just asking questions and getting them to talk about their business. But again, if you're familiar with the industry, the more you're going to be able to relate, and more comfortable you're going to feel inside of the conversation. So I just think that it's an excellent idea to research some of the local businesses in your area that actually specialize in an industry that you're familiar with. Another idea is retail. What retail shops in your town do not have websites? And if they do not have a website, make it a point to get to their store, or again, pick up the phone and start asking the hard questions, do the data mining, right? And I want you to just call it data mining if you want to. Again, when you pick up the phone and if you call up a business that you don't really know, you want to ask questions that are going to actually warrant responses. So, for example, you don't want to pick up the phone and call your local retail shop and just solicit them right off the bat. Because if you were listening earlier, you heard what I said. And what I said was, no intelligent business owner is going to turn their time or their business over to you if they don't know who you are. So just start asking some questions like, wow, your retail shop or your boutique is adorable. It's got so many great things. I wanted to send my sister there, but she lives kind of far away. Do you guys have a website? Again, if you position yourself in a way where you're trying to give them an opportunity to do more business, you're going to have a better, chance of actually keeping that conversation going. The timing could not be better than right now to start getting retail shops, boutiques, little mom and pop retail stores online, because before you know it, in 6 to 8 weeks is going to be Cyber Monday. and the biggest holiday shopping season of the time, like the entire year, is going to be kicking off. And so, after you've asked some of those questions and you pique their interest and you start to build some rapport, you can then you're in a really great position to sell an appointment. Wow, this is really great. It would be really wonderful if you guys actually had a website in time, especially for the holiday shopping season, which is, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's right around the corner. Have you thought of any options yet? And then they'll tell you some of the options they thought of, and then you can sell them an appointment for you to evaluate your option. Does that make sense, you guys? Retail shops are awesome. Another last suggestion I have for increasing your possibilities is to look for people who are looking. In addition to creating possibilities, why not just respond to possibilities, right? There are people on Craigslist, Angie's List, the newspaper, on Twitter, on Facebook that are literally out there going, somebody help me. I need a new web developer, or I need a new, marketing person, or whatever. So look for these opportunities and respond. Now, remember, these are cold contacts. These are people that you don't know. And if you take the time to build a little bit of rapport while you're responding to these people, the chances of you actually doing business together are going to significantly increase. If you treat it like you're just responding to ads going, yes, I'd like to submit a proposal, and it's very cold and it's very bland, then you're going to get one response out of 20 responses that you give. And that's not fun. That just turns into like a really weird numbers game where you start to feel kind of like a failure. So I don't want anybody to feel like that. But if you take the opportunity to be proactive, to respond to people that are looking, you can really do a great job for getting some appointments on the book right away. And again, remember what your goal is. Your goal is to get whatever you do this week to monetize, to grow in 2 to 3 weeks from now. So once you've expanded your list, I want you to do a little bit of prospect research. We've talked about this a little bit, but I feel like people are either skipping this or they're using the information the wrong way. So when I say prospect research, I mean, let's say you find a contractor and you write down their name and their phone number, you Google them. You find out they have a really old, outdated website, and all of the bells go off in your head, and you go, wow, that's exactly why they're not putting their website on their signage, because who the heck would put that website on anything, right? So what you want to do is you want to use that information the right way. You're using it to arm yourself with really great questions, not with really great speeches. There's a huge difference in perception from the person on the other end of the line when you pick up the phone and you call the contractor and you say, hey, I noticed your sign on my neighbor's lawn. They were really happy with the work that you did. I was just wondering if you guys had a website. You already know the answer, that they do have a website and that it's horrible. But if you phrase the question like that, you're now giving them an opportunity to tell you that they do have a website, and then the excuse for why they're not actually advertising it. So nobody's going to say, yes, we do have a website and here it is. If they're spending money to advertise their business and not including their website, and they have one, it's because they're not proud of it. So they'll say something to you like, yes, we have a website, but it hasn't been updated in a while. And then you can ask a second question like, oh, really? Why not? Or who did your website, right? You just have to ask the right questions. And that's where your prospect research really prepares you. And preparedness really leads to confidence. So when you're prepared with the right questions that you know you're going to ask based on the information that you already know, you're going to be very confident with the questions that you're asking, so that you can listen to the responses and you can learn about the opportunity that's there, and you can give them an opportunity to tell you that there's a need so that you can sell an appointment, right? The problem is most people do the prospect research, they pick up the phone and they tell the client or the prospect all of the things that they think they should improve, and then that's not very polite, you know what I mean? And all of the reasons why they think they need to meet with that person. And a lot of times that's just not perceived well. And so it doesn't lead to an appointment. That's what cold callers do. But if you picked up the phone and if you just asked a few questions and let them do most of the talking, that could lead to an appointment. Next thing I want to talk to you about is referrals. This is another really big thing. I'm sorry that we might go over about 5 minutes today if that's okay. But I really, really want everybody to have a ton of options for gaining new website leads. So just stay with us here. So referrals, number one is to understand why and when they're given, right? Referrals are given because of a good experience. I hope you understand that. There is nobody in the world that will give a referral for any product or any service if the experience is bad, right? Responsiveness. So delivery. So how do you as a web center owner provide a good experience, right? Because you're not designing the websites, you're not doing the work. So how can you be responsive and how can you deliver on time? Well, the answer is to be a good customer manager, and two, to engage the teams properly by understanding our process, right? So all that means is that when your client is going through the design process, you don't have to be running point. You don't have to be like, seeing the designs and forwarding them along. In fact, I really encourage you not to do that. But I do encourage you to pick up the phone and ask your client how it's going. Who's your project manager? Or just saying, hey, I heard that Connor's your project manager. How are things going? Did you get the signed agreement over to them? Wonderful. Did you get your content over to them? Wonderful. And then they're gonna be very open to talking to you. They might say, well, you know what, it seems like they're taking a long time. And that can happen. So what would you do then as a web center owner that's a good customer manager? You would then email me, Sarah Rose at marketamerica.com, or Jeremy, or the project manager, and just say, hey, I'm just wondering what's taking so long. And then we would find out why. And almost 9 times out of 10, I want everybody to understand, just because I don't want you to walk away thinking that this is a normal thing, but literally almost 9 out of 10 times, the reason it's taking so long is because the customer hasn't supplied a single thing yet, or they haven't provided what they were supposed to provide. So we just say, it looks like they're still waiting on XYZ. So then what you would do as the web center owner is to turn around and say, hello, client Joe, it looks like everybody's just waiting on you to provide this one document. Do you need help, or do you want me to have Connor call you so that they can help get that document right away so they could turn this around? That's demonstrating that you care. That's demonstrative that you're responsive, that you're engaged, and it doesn't require any unique skill set. All it requires is for you to pick up the phone and ask how things are going and to engage the team. But again, I want you to understand, to engaging the team properly is key. You shouldn't be designing sites, you shouldn't be running points on sites, and you shouldn't assume that the team is underperforming, or that the client is underperforming. Just play neutral. The best thing that you can do is, if ever you have a hiccup, or if ever you do need to be responsive or help somebody solve an issue or whatever, just engage the teams. Reach out to the right people. Let everybody respond and help, so that everybody can have a very positive experience. Because what happens is, if the web center owner is angry and is engaging the team the wrong way, including the client, then it's not a positive experience, right? But if the web center owner can help solve a problem by simply sending an email and asking a question, then the hiccup is just a misperception, and it turns into an excellent experience. And that's what you want to be shooting for, is excellent experiences. So that's very important, is to understand the psychology of why referrals are given. The second part is, when are they given? They're not given right away. You have to have trust. And in my opinion, think that the best way to gain a referral is to ask questions that lead to referrals. So, for example, rather than just saying, "Hey, would you be willing to refer me any business?" Um, you know, I would ask, "Hey, do you know of anyone who might benefit from a better website presence?" That's an open-ended question. It's a blanket statement, right? You're not saying, would you be willing to refer me business? Because, at that point, when you're asking for the referral like that, there's nothing wrong with it, but the business owner feels a sense of ownership. When they give you the referral, they feel like, wow, now I'm taking a little bit of ownership of whether or not I really want my blah, blah, blah to go with you. And again, it will boil down to, that they're giving you a referral because of a good experience. So it shouldn't be an issue. But in my personal experience, asking these types of questions is more effective than just saying, I'll give you $100 for a referral, because clients that refer you to other people are going to work a different way. I feel like incentivizing for a sale, or it works more with your actual client, meaning you have a prospect that's deciding whether or not they want to go with you, and you offer to take $100 off if they make a decision this week. And then that to them is an incentive. Yes, I wanted to go with you anyway. I saw the presentation, I tried out the technology, I like you, I like them, I like the company, I like the product, I like the service, and $100 off just puts the icing on the cake. I'm going to go with it. But again, it boils down to understanding why referrals are given. A referral for a website solution is not necessarily going to be given to you over $100 to $300 referral fee, but it will be given to you because of a good experience. So if you ask the question, do you know of anybody who might benefit from a better website presence? I feel that that is a stronger and more powerful question to ask your client for a referral than incentivizing them with a little bit of a program. So that's my opinion. That's what I think. Again, other people have had different success, but we'll come back to this. But I want to go ahead and I want to hear from Connie right now. Connie is excellent. She's a mom. She's an executive coordinator. She's a fast track coach. She's a leader in the Midwest. I don't see how she could not be a trainer in the upcoming year by August. I'm so excited that you guys get to hear from her because, like I said earlier, I truly believe that a lot of people like myself have scheduling conflicts, and Connie is really great at just making this work within whatever limitations her schedule offers. She's a mother of, I believe, 4 children. And she's got a husband that makes it 5, is what she always says. Just such a wonderful, bright light. So let's hear from Connie, everybody, about her tip of the week.
Hey, Sarah, thanks so much, and thanks everyone for plugging in with us tonight for tonight's webinar. I apologize, my voice is a little scratchy, so just bear with me, but I just want to congratulate everyone for making it. We're almost halfway there, going into week 5, and everything that Sarah talked about tonight on the webinar gets me so pumped up because this is exactly how I love to get my prospects while I'm out and about with my family. So now is the time to kick it up a notch, everybody. We're going to plant 10 times more seeds at this point in the game, and we're going to follow up using Don Fagan's awesome tips, leaving absolutely no loose ends with all this new prospecting material that we were just taught from Sarah about. So whether you're where you want to be or not, this is where you're going to put in a gear with the fast track everything you've learned, utilizing your day-to-day activities to expand that prospecting list. So I'm going to teach you how to go in complete engage mode every time you're walking through the door. Just a few examples of some places I've been. I went to a party a while ago and I was talking with this lady, and you guys keep in mind when I'm talking to people, I'm always in that engage mode. I want to learn everything about that person, just like for prospecting with Market America. So I'm talking to her, I'm asking her how work's going, how business is going, and then we got to the website conversation, and I said, you know what, I work with a website company, and we got in a conversation about that. So all my contacts are people that I'm out and about with, socially networking with. So anyways, the following week we booked an appointment, and I didn't even need to tell her anything about websites. She just wanted to see what we had because I'd already built that relationship with her when we were talking at the party. Another gentleman I met while we were at a wedding. We were at the same table. We started talking about business, about work. I said, hey, do you have a website? He said, yes, I do. I said, how's it working for you? He goes, I'm not going to lie, it's mediocre. I said, great, you are talking to the right person at the right time, and I'd love to set up a time with you. I know we're at a wedding right now, but let me give you a call next week and I'll show you what we have. So the point is, I make it quick. I don't say a lot. I learn like you're talking to the right person. Another place, the best place, you guys, when you're on vacation, you should be in engage mode immediately because it's a new circle of influence, a new area. When you're on vacation, that's the best time to earn money, and it's a write-off. I talked to a store on the beach we were at. The owner's name was Lisa. I didn't know she was the owner. We were just talking. I said, how long have you worked here? How long's the business here? And at the end, she's like, actually, I do own the place. I said, what do you do in the off season? Can you sell your products? Are you online? She said, no, I'm not. I said, I know I'm on vacation right now and you're pretty busy, but let me get in touch with you next week. So we booked an appointment from there. Another place I went into a boutique, exactly how Sarah said. I said, this place is adorable. We started talking. They loved my kids. We got to know each other. And before you know it, we're from the same hometown in Milwaukee. They vacation at the same spot in Florida. They have another business that they go to off season in another location. And my point is, I said, do you have a website? They said, no, we don't even want to touch online. I said, well, how are you going to leverage your time? How are people going to find you when you're off season with your storefront? And because we built that relationship and I started learning about them, just fitting it into being there with my family, they trusted me and they told me to contact them in the end of November. Get irritated enough, you guys, to get talking and to get engaged with the people around you. When Sarah was talking about writing names from the vans or signs that you see, always keep a notebook on the side in your car, because when you're in the parking lot waiting to pick up your kids or dropping them off somewhere, you pick up that phone and just say, hey, I saw your phone number on that van. Do you have a website that I can look into? You don't? Great. I just happen to be the person you could talk to. Engage with everybody in the marketplace around you. Use Trisha Polo's listening skills. Those listening skills open you up for the appointment that they're asking for, and they don't even need to directly ask you for it. So all you're doing is engaging with the people. Smile, be friendly, learn, get them talking, fill their need, follow up with them using Don Sagan's tips, continue to utilize Matt's Marketing 2.0 with following up with these new leads, and be interested, not interesting, like Sarah always says. So if I could leave you guys with one tip, it's fit this into what you're already doing, whether it's on vacation or at parties or going into the store with your kids. Don't worry about being perfect. You don't have to look perfect or say anything perfect, because all you're doing is listening to the people around you within your everyday activities. You guys can do this. Listen and engage and get the numbers so high for next week that we're going to blow ourselves out of the water. Thanks, everyone, so much for your time tonight, and have a fun week doing this.
Thank you so much, Connie. That was incredible. I think that this combined, like, this is incredible. Just so you guys know, that's really all that you have to do. You really, if you can be as aware and hyper aware of everything in your surroundings and the people around you, and to just engage in conversations, that will be enough. But I really think that that kind of a thing, combined with some intentional efforts this week, really intentional efforts, and along with being hyper aware, you guys could really just do some incredible things for your own business. So what I'd like for everybody to do this week, this is your challenge for the week, is I want you to follow some steps to increase your website productivity. Number one is, I want you to expand your possibilities list. I want you to take the ideas from tonight and really dig deep and find some new prospects or candidates for people that you could do business with. I want you to do some basic prospect research by Googling them and determining some very good questions that you're going to ask them. Remember, you're not arming yourself with information to give a good speech or to tell them why they need to go with you. You're arming yourself with good information to form excellent questions. You're going to be selling the appointment and being aware of exactly of where you are. The Connie strategy, just like I just said. I love that, and I'm so happy that this is what she talked about tonight, because she and I didn't really talk about, but I know what her strengths are, and she is excellent at that. So like I said, I think that the hyper awareness combined with the intentional prospecting, you guys are going to see some incredible increases in your productivity. So this is just a little bit of what's coming up on the upcoming Web Center trainings. Apparently, you need to have the name Rose in your name to be doing a training over the next 10 weeks. I know that Eric Yu is also doing some trainings in the upcoming weeks, and that should be showing up on NMTSS soon for New York City, and so other people as well. But here's what I want everyone to know. The Web Center Training 101 is all about simple strategies for success. You guys are going to get to hear from Sue Gilad in the final week from our Fast Track coach. But what I want you to understand is that simple strategies doesn't mean that you get simple or small results. It simply means simple strategies, right? She's an executive supervising coordinator and has sold probably in excess of 100 websites using simple strategies. So it's never a matter of, well, once you want to get big results, you have to get the second level of training. It's about finding an approach that's comfortable for you to use and to leverage. And that's what that the 101 is all about, is giving you a place to gain the posture and to gain the experience so that if you decide you want to use a more advanced approach, you can. Or if you decide that you're super comfortable in that approach and you want to continue succeeding with that approach, that's okay as well. But what's great about the 101 class is that you're getting some incredible practical experience right on the call. Just one second. Okay, you're getting practical experience right in the class. There are a number of workshops, including goal setting workshops, where we work together to create initial goals using our system. There are demonstrations that happen where we practice setting websites in hypothetical situations where the trainer will be the business owner, and you can practice setting an example, and the trainer will give you some of the objections that could come up, that kind of a thing. And then they role reverse, where the trainer is the web center owner and demonstrates how to set an appointment. So you can see how the trainer themselves actually goes about setting an appointment. And then from there, the whole class just breaks for 15 minutes and practices together so that every single person leaves the room with practical experience. There's homework given at the end, and it's excellent. The 201 is actually, in my opinion, it's going to change the way you see specialty trainings in the next year. The kinds of reviews that we've gotten from high pin levels, field vice presidents that have never even embraced the Web Center program before have been saying this is like better than a basic 5. It follows a basic 5, but there's incredible networking and sales strategies that are built into these. And what's great about these workshops is that they're second tier workshops. So the goal revision workshop is all about assessing what worked and why, and what didn't work and why not. And then the retailing workshop is also excellent because not only are they doing demonstrations, but there's a 20-minute call workshop that happens right in the middle of the class. So people are literally leaving this class with booked website appointments. And then if they don't get the full on booked appointment, they're scheduling 15-minute consultations, or they're asking for a better time to reach. There's just a ton of stuff that gets put into motion right in the middle of the class. So, rather than just practicing and in front of the room and then saying, oh, I'll get to it on Monday, I'm going to make the actual calls, you're actually getting the ball rolling right away. It's just so valuable. I mean, it's just been, in my opinion, just really revolutionary. The entire training, I personally rewrote from scratch. Some of the concepts are absolutely poured over from the original training, especially in the 101 class, but the 201 has all kinds of unique strategies that people can try and apply if they're ready. And there's a lot of changes that were made even in the 101 simple strategies. So if you have been to a Web Center training in the past year and you're thinking you don't know if you should go to one again, I'm telling you flat out, you need to go. If you're working with an intern, if you are a brand new web center owner, or if you're looking to recruit web center owners, you need to understand what's in these trainings, especially the 101 training, so that you know the kind of guidance, mentorship, curriculum, training, experience, etc., that they're going to get in these classes so that you can promote them properly in your organization. So if you guys have questions about these, we've got a ton of trainers in the group. We have trainers in the coaches group as well, and we'd be happy to answer them. But if you go to the MAWC411.com site, I think that's a great place to find out about upcoming trainings because it will give you everything that's happening in the country. Where NMTSS, you have to search by state or region or whatever. So I hope that makes sense for you guys. Take a look at the challenge again, is to increase your possibilities, increase your productivity, both intentionally and also just by being yourself and going about your day. Thank you guys so much. I'm super looking forward to the kinds of stuff we're going to get going this week. I'm gonna kill it. I know it. I'm just gonna knock it out of the park, and I hope you'll be there with me. If you have any questions, stay in touch. Ask the questions in the group. I'm there looking at it like 3 or 4 times a day. Happy to help in any way that I can. Have an excellent week, everyone.